loves. It is Sunday evening. I'm on here because I want to encourage you all to do something for someone that can't do for themselves. I have been doing this and promoting this for many, many, many years on my social media platform. I used to have a Facebook where I had a lot more followers and I got hacked about 3 years ago now. So I don't have, or 2 years or three now, I don't have the same amount of people that I used to have that, would donate and share and reach out and do. But it's important that we give back um, to those in need. And sometimes we're the ones in need and we're like, oh, well, why am I going to donate? I can't afford to donate to someone else. But I like to say that donating and doing things for someone else doesn't necessarily have to take a financial toll on you. If you have a neighbor that needs help cutting their grass or shoveling once the weather gets colder or raking up their leaves, get a couple of your relatives or friends, and help if there's an older person. There's a lot of things we can do for people. Volunteer to babysit for a couple that hasn't gone out on a date and maybe they need, a nice dinner out, but they don't have anybody to watch their kids, and maybe you can watch them for a few hours. Or maybe you can take somebody some food that you have, maybe some leftovers or some. Not that you're going to give people your leftovers, but you make a lot of food for a big dinner and it's too much food. So you set a nice plate for a neighbor or someone that might need it. Donate the things that you no longer use or need. Again, it's not always about money. Also, you can sit with an elderly person that may just want someone to talk to. There's a lot of homeless people too, that, can use just a little TLC, a little love, a little encouragement. Sometimes people walk by them in the streets and they treat them as less than, and they're not. They're human beings, and they're people who had some kind of traumatic life experience that might have left them without a job, without a family, without a home. You never know. You don't know anybody's situation to judge them. So if you see someone that's out there in the street that might be sleeping on the bench or by a bridge, you know, ask them if they're hungry. And I know a lot of people think everybody's using drugs and everybody who's on the street is because they're a drug user. Some are. I won't lie and say that they're not. In Philadelphia, you see there's a lot of people that are using all kinds of stuff and they're in the streets, and that's sad. But really, if they're hungry, go get them something to eat from a place that's wrapped. Like Wawa has ready made sandwiches and things that you don't have to tamper with. Just get them something to eat. I remember years back that we were doing where you pay for the car behind you in the line at the fast food or Dunkin' Donuts. And I remember one time we saw it and it was about 7, 8 cars deep. It was pretty cool. It happened in the salon too once. We had a customer pay for someone's blowout because she was just grateful. So that person was like, well, I don't have to pay. So she paid for someone's haircut. And like we had about 5 customers, but by the time it got to the last customer, she's like, I'm getting highlights, or so and so is getting highlights. And she's like, I can't afford to pay that. And I was like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But, you know, customers were just feeling generous that day, and like, a $10, $15, whatever service at the time, because it was a while back. I used to do like guy cuts were only $14 back then, and like people were just doing nice things for each other. It didn't have to be something super crazy. Buy somebody a cup of coffee, or if you have coworkers at your job that maybe having a rough day, and that they're always coming in with a Dunkin' Donuts, go get them a $5 gift card or $10. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be monetary, but it also can be. You can write a note to someone, be a pen pal to someone, go to hospice and volunteer. Some people can be in hospice, and it actually is something that they can do and feel comfortable doing. I've always felt the urge to go and work with people in hospice, and I did for a bit. Um, I was volunteering for a local hospice center by my home, but I was volunteering my services for the business, just if they needed anything from us. And one day I did get that request, and it was such a blessing in disguise because not only was I able to help this woman get to her nephew's wedding to look good and feel good because we did her hair and makeup, but I made a friend and she told me her story. And, I got to really know who she was, her struggles and everything. And, she was such a beautiful soul. And, it was just such a beautiful thing. There's so many beautiful, wonderful people out there, and they can be an angel directing you on a path in your life. So, again, don't be discouraged. If you don't have money, there's other ways that you could do something for someone else. You could even just smile at someone when you walk into the store, hold the door for someone. These are things that people don't do anymore, but today there were a bunch of women coming out of Applebee's. It looked like it was a church function. They all had little tags and things on. It was a nice group of them. And they were coming out so simple. You hold the door open for them, and they were just so grateful. Little things, guys and girls, and everyone in between. Don't feel that everything that you do for someone has to be put out on the internet either. Like I know sometimes when these people volunteer to cut hair for those in need in the streets, they're like, "Oh, I got this guy off the street and I cut their hair in the street, and look at me doing it." And look, it's okay if you want to put it on the gram and you want to, but I feel like sometimes when you do things, you should do them in silence. Um or among your little group, amongst your own like peers and such. You don't have to post everything you do. Do it out of the kindness of your heart because you want to. You don't have to yell it at the rooftop. Hey, I did something for so and so. No, do it because you want to. Do things when other people aren't looking and expecting to get rewarded or validated or praised by the world. Like, just do it because you want to. Um, but hopefully soon we'll be starting this up. And I'm only sharing this because I think it's important to give back, to help, and I encourage people because I know when I do it, it's such a blessing and it's so rewarding because you're not doing it for you, you're doing it to make someone else smile, to brighten someone else's day. And if you can be a blessing or bring someone a smile or hope, even just some words, uplifting words. You can tell someone you look amazing today, or I hope you have an amazing day, or everything's gonna be okay. Words of encouragement, words of hope. Excuse me. And if you believe in prayer and that person feels comfortable, hey, can I pray for you? Or with you. There's so many things we can do, my loves. And I just hope that we continue making this place a better place because it's been a shit show lately. And we don't know what's going to happen come November. But I think we need to be more united instead of divided. There's things going on all over the world we have no control over, but we do have control of how we treat one another here and now. And I pray that everyone just does something kind for someone else that can't do anything for themselves or aren't able to. Just do something for someone who cannot repay you. And do it willingly and expecting no reward. I love you guys.